It's a widely known statistic that 80% of businesses fail within the first 12 months, but you might not know that 80% of franchisees are successful within the first 12 months. So if we look at that, if you're going out yourself and setting up your own business, you have an 80% chance of failing. But if you're doing it in a franchise business, you have an 80% chance of success. And the difference there is absolutely massive. And for me, there's two definitions of failure. One, it's a business not existing. You run out of money, you can't pay the bills, and your business closes. But there's a lot of subtle failures. Businesses still operating that don't actually make a lot of money. They're possibly losing money. But you think of entrepreneurs who just like their own business and they keep trying, but actually they would make more money in a minimum wage job. They can go and get a reasonably paid job at Lidl or as Aldi as a shelf stacker or a till person, and they would make more money than they would operating their business. And I can guarantee they'll put more hours, they'll have more stress managing their own business. So there's so many businesses that exist that could be seen as failures. So the two elements to being in a franchise network is you have a much, much higher percentage chance of still being in business, but also it's the money you make and how successful you are within that business. Now, there's many, many reasons why it's the opposite. 80% chance of failure going it alone, 80% chance of success in a franchise network. So lots of reasons. Firstly is the support element. When you set up your own business, you're there. You don't have any support, you don't have anybody to phone, you don't have anybody to advise you, you don't have mentors, you don't have training. But within a franchise business, the support and training element should be there, should be one of the biggest reasons to do it. And the second biggest reason to do it that you don't have in your own business is you get everything given to you. You get the systems and procedures that have been changed over the years and pillows. Example, 15 years it took me to create this franchise package. 15 years, probably hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of training and documents and legal fees and all these things to create everything that you get as part of your franchise fee. And that's given to you immediately. So no learning curve. You get all the training and support. You got all the documents, procedures given to you that's taken me 15 years to make. So you get everything there. All the processes have been checked. They've been the best way of doing things possible. You don't jump in and make mistakes and have that 15-year learning curve. The good thing about a big franchise business is we will have lots of resources you won't have yourself. So we can do lots of things like marketing, Google AdWords. We can have the best everything. We can have the best technology. So we're going to have the best platform, subscribe to the best software, have the best website, have all the best of things that you can't afford when you start up in business. Before you start making money, you really need to watch your costs. So you need to be very careful about what you're spending, and you don't have the privilege of going out and getting a big fancy website, subscribing to lots of things. And part of a franchise network of what we do is subscribing to all these costs, taking the hit on the monthly payments so that our franchisees don't need to. So we've got access to all these things that you wouldn't have doing it yourself, and we've got cutting edge technology to back up. So all these things combined, it's clear to see why a franchise business has massive, massive advantages over going it alone. In fact, the odds are stacked massively against you. And statistically, go into the Office of National Statistics and you'll see just how many businesses fail. And these business statistics of 80% failure rates are 2019 back. It's before the whole COVID lockdown situation. Now, do you think it's easier or harder to operate a business during these turbulent times? Obviously, the answer is it's much, much harder. And to see many of our competitors have failed, why? Because they didn't have the resources. They were smaller businesses and they just didn't have the cash flows. They didn't have the staff to deal with the things that they needed to deal with. So the larger franchise businesses will be doing well during lockdowns and COVID and turbulent times, and the smaller kind of one-man bands will go out of business. So as I said, that 80% failure rate, I think it's up in the 95% failure rate of businesses that not only survive but are actually successful. So again, you have a much, much higher chance of being successful being part of a business like Pillow than going it alone.